So this right here is a Skog Reboot Present Studio. It's a really nice board. Sound test will be live soon, but I will give you a quick little one. Giving away V1 what? Yes, you did, Bueno. You missed the sound test. You came at the wrong time. I'm sorry. But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna hit one more for you real quick. There it is. But yeah, let's talk about the Skog. It is a very nice board. Center USB, has Bluetooth, and the Bluetooth is sick. I have to just turn it on. To turn it on, the Bluetooth, it's already paired to my computer. That's all I gotta do. I need a smaller PP to get in that hole. Flip it on. As I unplug it, the light stays on. Because it's Bluetooth activated, and let's see. Yep, I hit enter, or hit the right alt and my Windows triggered. So now I'm typing. So you can see in the chat, I just responded. So this board, all right, let's take a quick little review of it. This is the Svart version. It's black, it's pretty much dark gray. Has the rainbow LEDs, a la the Skog V1. Has the knob, which is admittedly a little scratchy, and a little harder to turn, but it works. It works on Bluetooth too, so it's pretty sick. So the knob works. This is also VIA, so when I need to run it via and QMK, all I gotta do is plug it in. So I'm plugging it right here. And all I gotta do is open up VIA. Well, I should. It's not at this moment. Awkward. But it is VIA and QMK, which is not in all Bluetooth boards. The EK68 is not VIA. It's like uses proprietary software. And this uses Bluetooth V... I think it's V4. Skog Reboot. Let's see. Skog Reboot Bluetooth. This is using BLE, Bluetooth Low Energy version 4.2. So in my work environment, when I use a Bluetooth mouse like the MX Master, I usually have a lot of issues. And I actually have issues with the EK68 Bluetooth connectivity as well. This one does not have any of those issues. And I can game with it. I popped off in Overwatch with it. And that is really sick to not have a cable, so I can just put this away. Rip cable makers, I'm sorry. So I got here, yo, I just go like this. Got my Razer Viper Ultimate ready to bang. Click heads. I'm really bad at FPS. I get WPM and FPS confused. But with VIA, you can control the RGB. It has perky LEDs as well. But unfortunately, my Protoype version, the SMD LEDs are actually whining, and it's loud. Just like how my dog is whining right now because he's trying to get outside. Jackson, come here. So I'm gonna turn off the perky RGB because it whines. I would honestly, if they can't fix it in the production run, which they will, I would just desolder them because I don't use it. I just want this. But on top of RGBs, bro, the underglow shows through the back. Look at that. But now that we're on the back side, let's talk about the feet. The feet kind of scuffed. But they're updating the feet design in the production run. They're not going to use these feet anymore. If you saw in a few streams, it got locked up. You couldn't even open it and adjust it. The back is actually aluminum. It's not plastic. I know it looks plastic, but it's not. There's only rubber feet on the bottom, so it's weird that the top doesn't have rubber feet, but that's something they can fix in the production run as well. In terms of the build, how complicated the build is, this rivals the Matrix 1.2 OG and the 2.0 in terms of like complicated parts. The knob is pre-soldered, and it like folds in. The top piece is like two different pieces. There's like a plate, and then the piece, and another piece, and they all got to screw together. It's really confusing, but it's not difficult to do. So we can look at the rear centered USB, of course. Here's the side profile. You either love it or you don't. I think it's pretty standard. And it's two-toned. Black top. You can tell it's really black here. And then the gray back. This is a gasket mount board, so it implements the kind of gasket pads like the Keycolt, like the Bauer, like any other like gasket mount that uses those usually pour-on strips, but the Bauer uses neoprene. That's here. So it's sandwiched. There's a plate, and then either side it has the pads. In my prototype unit, there's no adhesive on those pads, but I'm sure in the production run they will have it. On top of that, there's a silicone dampener for the plate. Normally, I'm against using a plate foam, which is what the dampener is, but this is like laser cut and precision cut. Unlike the Key 65, which is like a thick piece of like rubber that made it hard for me to solder in switches. Like it was PCB, the rubber neoprene or like pour-on or whatever they use. It was thick and sticky and stretchy, and then the plate, and then the switch goes in through all of it. The switch couldn't get to the PCB because the foam was so thick. I hated it. No black anode mismatch. You can't mismatch, or it can because it's multiple pieces. So let's look at the anode. Oh, it's all the same color to me. So yeah, the silicone dampener, I built this without the silicone dampener with Cherry MX Black's vents, and it sounded okay. It's an aluminum plate. It's a very flexible plate, very much like the Matrix, where it's an aluminum plate, but it's very flexible because of the material they use and the cutouts. I really like the feel of it, but I was bottoming out. So without the silicone dampener, you will bottom out the board. It wasn't shorting, but you definitely bottoming it out. So with the silicone dampener, the flex isn't as much, but it's the change in sound with the Vint Blacks on aluminum with no silicone dampener and GAT inks with a silicone dampener. Boy, it's like freaking, it's like night and day. Like it went from like, okay, this is a decent top mount to like, yo, this is fucking nutty. Is the keyboard height pretty low? Let's measure. I don't think so. I think it's pretty high. So I'll move it to the bottom of the bump on. Yeah, so the front height is actually like 22 millimeters. So it's a taller front height board. Yeah, so this is a plate to ground plane. I can't measure that. I know that's critical. I can measure, so it's 22 millimeters to like here. So I can check for the front height of the keyboard as well, or front height of the first keycap. So the first keycap sits at like 34 millimeters, 33 millimeters to the surface of the first keycap. I've been using it without a wrist rest, and I think it's tall enough to warrant a wrist rest. So in terms of like low front height, it's not one of those boards. It's closer to more standard. So if you like Keycolt front height, you'll like this. Keycolt front height's a little high for me. In terms of this versus the Mode 80, the features in this just make it blast past the Mode 80. The Mode 80 has the shiny flex factor of the PVD back though. The battery life is about 24 hours according to King Nesty. The other thing about the Bluetooth is it only connects to one device at a time, so you have to disconnect the first device before switching it to another. So I do wired when I'm at work. It's very good at waking from sleep, so your PC going to sleep, and Bluetooth keyboards usually have trouble like waking the PC. This wakes it. Because another thing that I had an issue with was the knob. When I rolled it up, it would like stutter. It would like go up, and then do like a double take and then keep going, even though I'm just moving in one direction. They gave me a new firmware, I flashed it and it worked fine. Which features make it blast past the Mode 80? Bluetooth, LED, knob. The Mode 80 is just a keyboard. So I like the LEDs, I like the RGBs. That's my personal preference. The knob is a cool novelty, and that's something to mention. If you just want a basic board, if you just want a board, then they're pretty much on par with each other because they're both using kind of like plate foam. In terms of sound, I'm pretty sure I can make the Mode 80 and the Skog sound very similar. But right now, people are doing like all these mods with the Mode 80. They're cutting out the center of the case foam. They're cutting out the center of the alpha foam. And that's a lot of fucking work, dude. Like cutting out the center of the alpha foam made a big difference. It made it feel better and made it sound less foamed. But if you're gonna do that, it's a mod you can do, but it has to be mentioned. Just like how the Iron 165, it sounded better when we took out the top foam. The designer built it a certain way, and we have to modify it to make it sound like what is more traditionally accepted as good. It has a 27.7 features. Yeah, I agree. It's cooler. But yeah, in terms of how bad is latency when typing with Bluetooth, absolutely none that I can discern. Cut out the bottom foam or PCB foam. On the Mode 80, I did the PCB foam, and people were doing the bottom foam too. And with the PCB foam, when you cut it out, it becomes a pain in the ass to install. It's already flimsy, so when they took that out, when I took that out for a commission build, I was like, oh my god, this is taking forever. The silicone dampener is absolutely necessary for this. If you don't like the feel of having foam or like a dampener, don't go for the board. I don't think it's worth the value in terms of sound and feel. Just ignoring all the rest of the features if you really don't like that foam. It's like something beneath your plate. They're doing other plate materials as well. They're doing the FR4, they're doing polycarbonate, I think. I have an aluminum plate here. So having plate options is very, very much appreciated. The space between FRO and alphas in the Skog Reboot was a little thicker than normal. I can grab my matrix. I'll be right back. So we got the Skog, we got the matrix. We can do sound tests of both too. They're built with the same V1 inks. I think that's all you need to know for sound testing. They sound kind of similar. I think it's pretty similar. I like this Skog edges out a little bit more to me here, sitting here. But when I just did it right now, yeah, they sound pretty similar. But yeah, like think about the fact that this is the % studio board. I mean, they didn't have a great track run. They didn't have a great run with the Canoe. A lot of people are complaining about a lot of things. Matrix is tried and true, and people really like the Matrix 1.2 OG. And they sound, it's not like a bad sounding board. This is 9s, yeah. Yeah, this is a little slimmer, the more classic TKL look. This is a little different, a little fatter looking. Let's look at the booties. It's a little heavier, you know, got the weight. What's the way the Skog Reboot? I can grab a scale. We're doing a review here, you know, so. Well, I'll grab it. If you have any more questions, after this, we're gonna wrap it up. Yeah, I wanna help you make a purchase decision, especially with these keyboards. Alright, boys, we got 69.60, about 70 ounces. Oh, I turned it off. Oh, damn it. Hold on. Boys, still 69. Alright, 4.3 pounds, 1.9 kilos. My God, thank you for the raid. Oh, what's up, man? So that means you worked out this morning, Mai. Real quick, I'm gonna weigh this and I greet everybody. We got 1.9 kilos. Yo, they are the same weights. What? This is a little lighter. The Matrix is a little lighter. Add 9 more grams for foam tape in the case. I took out the foam, all the foam in this, and 4.26 pounds. Skog is a nice keyboard. Does it beat the Mode 80? I think they're about the same. I don't know how I built it right now to compare, but they're about the same. The Mode 80 has a bigger forehead. This PCB has a bigger slit between the number row and the FRO. Mode 80 has a flashier PVD back on the FE and first D. I don't know about the pre-order. Matrix, different flavor, but still also very nice keyboard. But if you like LED and the knob, you gotta go for the Skog. You want the shiny Flexi Boy, Mode 80. You want more classic sound and feel. This is not the best sounding board. People go for feel, I think. I know, Skog vs Constellation. Mode is more expensive. Yeah, I think a little bit. Even the pre-order is a little bit more expensive. If you like how it looks, the color options is pretty sick. The Casio Skog Reboot is money. I want that one, but they already gave me one. And also, disclaimer, I got to keep this for free, but I'm testing it for King Nesty. I'm putting it to his spaces. The Bluetooth has been reliable. I've been able to game with it. I've been able to type with it. I've been able to get my fastest speed on it. Would I buy over a Matrix? Yeah. Bro, this is sick because it's teal. But if you give me a black 1.2 OG, I'll be like, cool, that's a keyboard. The UTD is gonna be cheaper and sound and feel better. But if you don't like the ethical ramifications, you can go for the KVD8X. This beats the KVD8X for sure. There's no way that a silicone dampened gasket mount TKL is gonna sound worse than a KVD fan TKL. It's a pretty good value board, but it's still, at the end of the day, just top mount. The burger mount and Gummy O-ring you can do to that board, but it's still pretty much just gonna have its own like spot, and it's kind of like the more affordable value. The knob is placed in an awkward position. Is it? I like it actually. So typing, volume, typing, volume. And you're messing with the arrows, volume. If they put it up here, now it's like a far reach. I actually prefer this over the right hand. The actual best knob position is actually on the top left, ergonomically. But when you're playing the FPS, you want to change the volume. I'm used to SAT75. You see how I reach for that because it's SAT75, but this is not all that far off. Do I hit the right arrow key? No. I don't really hit the right arrow key. I've never done that because I'm like reaching the side. I don't do this with my knob because you look at my wrist, bro. I'm not doing that. I'm actually reaching around the side. How's it compared to OTD? The OTD, dude, the OTD UTD will smoke any TKL like up to $800. I don't think you can get. I think the Linwhale may be able to beat it, but the UTD got that classic TKL sound feel. The UTD is gonna smoke it. I think the UTD is gonna smoke the Linwhale too. I personally like the Linwhale more, but only because of the palm half plate ink combo. All in all, I think the Skog Reboot is a pretty solid buy. The sound and feel, especially built with the silicone dampener, is really nice. Some people prefer without, but the board has a very striking appearance with the LED light bar as well as the volume knob. The kind of weird design on the back with the two-tone. It's definitely a more unique board, and the fact that it has Bluetooth that's implemented well with Bluetooth 4.2 technology, it's a really solid board, and I think I'm going to use it as one of my daily drivers, especially when I want to have less cables on my desk. So overall, this gets a thumbs up from me, and I highly recommend the board. Thanks, and see you in the next video. Bye.